Hello, and welcome to Speak Honest. I am your host and certified relationship coach, Jennifer Noble. It has been my passion for over a decade to help women like you heal what's been holding you back from having the relationships you deserve. Are you struggling with a relationship where you can't seem to voice your emotions, needs, and boundaries without having it blow up in your face? Then you have found the right podcast, my friend. Get ready for practical tips, empowering truths, and honest conversations. Now, let's dive in. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Speak Honest. I'm Jen Noble, your relationship coach, and on today's episode, I speak with Martie. Now, Martie is having a bit of an issue with dealing with some self-sabotaging in her life right now. She wants to do it all, right? She wants to be the career woman and the mother and the healthy woman and the person that's great for society. But is it possible to have it all? That's what we dive into. We also dive into this concept of self-sabotaging. Is it self-sabotaging? That's the question that we ask in our coaching call together. And I can't wait for you to listen to what we actually uncovered about her self-sabotaging. So make sure that you listen in and you find out what exactly is happening. Is it self-sabotaging or is it perhaps protecting her? And so if this is something that's interesting you, if this is something you've been thinking about and you're like, oh my gosh, Jen, I want to be able to come on here and get coached by you. This sounds amazing. I want you to reach out to me and I want to have you on this podcast. This is what I do here. It's completely free. And the reason why I love doing this is because it's a win-win-win-win-win situation. You get to help me by coming and being on the podcast, and we get to help all of these women and all of these people that are listening to us. And they're listening and they're thinking, that sounds just like me. Because trust me, when you listen to this conversation with Martie, you are absolutely going to hear parts of yourself. I heard parts of myself in it. I know what it's like to be a strong presence in your world, to be this woman that's taking up space and just wanting to do it all, but also just kind of not being able to get there all the time. And that's okay. And the cost of wanting to do it all, but then shaming ourselves for not doing it all is worse than just not wanting to do it at all. And that's what we talk about. And so if you have something on your heart, if you feel pulled to want to talk to me, reach out to me. There should be a link in the show notes. You can just schedule right away, jump on a podcast with me. You can reach out to me on Facebook. You can go to our Facebook group and there should be a link in there for the show notes as well. And you can just jump in and say, hey, Jen, I heard your podcast. I want help. Great. That's what I love to hear. Because that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you see what's already inside of yourself, what you already know. But some of us, we just need a little bit of extra help. And that's what I'm here for. So if you want to be on the podcast, reach out to me at jennifer@speak-honest.com or in the link in the show notes, or jump in our Facebook group and just say, Jen, I need help. I want to be on your podcast and I would love to have you on. But for right now, I want you to enjoy this conversation with Martie. Hi, Martie. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. How can I help today?
Hi, thank you, Jen, for having me. I was wondering if we could talk about, so over the course of my years in business and just in general, I've always done everything for everyone else. And when I either excel in my career or even in family, I feel like I always get set back. Like there's always some kind of doom and gloom there. And I don't know if that's self-sabotage or if it's just because I'm not looking out for myself instead, or putting me first, putting my needs first, right? So when we talk about relationships, I don't believe that I have a very good relationship with myself. I don't talk nice to myself sometimes. I don't feel good about myself sometimes. Like I can have those conversations and very nervous sometimes, but I really want to know how to break through, because I know that I have it within me to be the leader that I'm aspiring to be and to reach the goals that I have. But I feel like there's something that's self-sabotaging, and it continues to be self-sabotaging. And I'm not sure if it's the confidence or how to overcome that, or the relationship with myself. How do you have a better relationship with yourself to build yourself up? Because obviously nobody else will. So you have to be the one to do that, correct?
Correct.
So how do you do that?
Love this question. Yeah, this is so good. So what I hear you saying is you want to be this leader. You want to be a woman in your field that is just standing up and taking up space, right? Am I hearing that correctly?
Yes. Like looked at as an authority, looked at as an advisor, looked at somebody that's trusted, looked at somebody that isn't compared to somebody else, somebody that is that go-to person that they know that they can call, that has the answers, and that will guide them and be that authority figure.
Love this so much for you. Yeah, you are this authority figure. You are being a leader in your field that you're at. So what is holding you back from being that person? Is it the self-sabotage?
Yeah, it's the self-confidence, it's the self-sabotage. I think there's different areas in my life that obviously I need to work on. And I think finding that balancing act is hard because then you feel like, so just for example, one area would be health, right? Being healthy, being at a weight that you want to be, feeling the way you want to do, doing what you want to do, like being able to work out 30 minutes a day, 40 minutes a day, an hour a day, making that time and not feeling guilty, right? So I have this fear of missing out on everything, or I again don't say no, or don't I jam pack my schedule where there's no room for what really matters.
Okay.
And what I've been finding is that I want to spend as much time with my children as I can now, and I think that's really important. But again, finding time to do all the things.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm hearing the disconnect. Is it okay if I interrupt you real quick?
Yeah, of course.
So I'm hearing it's not just about being a leader in your field. You also want to be healthy. You also want to be there for your kids. It's sounding like there's a lot you want to do.
I do. There is a lot I want to do.
Yeah.
And I want to know how to do all the things.
So yeah. So that's where the unfortunate part is. I'm going to have to tell you, we don't. That is where the self-sabotage is coming in. The self-sabotage is coming in from the unrealistic expectations that as women, we can do it all. Because we were taught and we were socialized that this is what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be the mother. We're supposed to be the family person. We're supposed to be skinny and have our healthy weight, and not too skinny, but a little bit skinny. And then, not too pretty. I'm not trying to quote Barbie here, but it's where they got it from. And we're supposed to be the leaders in our field. We're supposed to be an authority figure. We're supposed to be great at what we're doing. We're supposed to be career women. It's no wonder we self-sabotage, because we also want to be human. And we also just want to cuddle up in bed or on the couch.
Right.
We just want to watch something on TV and enjoy life for what it is.
Well, and I find lately that I've been craving slowdown.
There you go. There's another need in you.
I've been craving to slow down. That to me fuels my soul right now, only because I know that this time with my children is very important. But I also know that focusing on me as an individual, a woman, a wife, a mother, is important too.
But let me ask you this then. If you're craving, I love that word. What a big weighted word, craving the slowdown. If you're craving the slowdown, are you self-sabotaging, or are you doing exactly what your body needs?
Both. So I think my body needs to slow down, but I also know that in order to be healthy, it needs the activity for the endorphins and for the youthfulness, right? So to be able to stay up with my kids, to be able to keep up with my kids, to be able to live that long, long life and be able to take care of everything, it's much needed to continue to be youthful.
Well, let's challenge that. Is that true?
Yeah.
I mean, is it 100% true? Because I know a lot of people who work out and they have heart attacks.
Oh, true. I mean, youthful in the sense that I guess what I question is, are my kids looking at me and are they picking up good habits or bad habits?
Great. So what we've just done there, do you see what's happening here, Martie? So every time I'm kind of challenged, and this is beautiful, by the way, I just want to say you're doing a great job. And I'm doing this to kind of like jumpstart your subconscious. Every time I've come back to your subconscious with a truth, your subconscious says, yeah, but this. So I said, well, let's question the health thing. Will that actually keep you healthy? And you're like, yeah, but I want to show my kids that this is what you need to do to be healthy. Great. So we're not talking about health anymore again, are we? Now we're going back to being a mother.
Okay.
Your subconscious is wrapping its mind around this. And I think this is where the sabotage is coming in.
Okay.
So we need to get clear. What is it that you actually want?
Yes.
That's the hard part.
Yes. I think I say I think because again.
Yeah, because we don't know. We're still figuring it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I think I want balance.
Ah.
I want balance. I want it all. I want it all and balance. But truth and realistically, it may not be what I think all is. Meaning, so what I hear you say is that realistically, you can't have it all. So maybe in my mind, what all is isn't everything I want.
Oh, I love this. Keep going.
So let's say that I want to be healthy, financially free, be a leader, help coach people, help mentor people, put deals together. I've always called my superpower is connecting people, tools, and resources, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so does that include everything? Maybe it includes one area of focus, and then it includes the focus on me, and then it includes my family, and then that brings balance, and that creates freedom in many areas.
Yeah. I want to try something with you. I want you to visualize yourself in 2026. So 2 years from today. It's September 12th, 2026. And you have balance. You have it all. You're connecting people. You're bringing them tools and resources. You're a fantastic mother who's showing her kids how to be healthy. You're going to the gym 30 minutes every day, maybe 5 days out of the week, because you've also learned balance and you learn you don't need to go to the gym every day. How do you feel?
Grateful. Amazingly grateful.
Tell me about that gratefulness.
There's a lot of gratitude. Yes, I get emotional even talking about it. Like, I am grateful for the opportunity. Like, I'm very optimistic. I'm grateful that I am even challenged with these things, that I'm challenged with this self-sabotage, that I'm challenged with the opportunity to grow. I do believe that when I get uncomfortable, I am emerging into the next step or the next level, right? But I also know that I need the mentor or the coach or the help to dig in, so I'm not making excuses or not, realistically living the life.
Yeah, so let's go back to that future, because I noticed we pulled back into like, well, I'm grateful for the uncomfortable. I'm great, but in this future scenario, there is no uncomfortable because you've reached your balance.
Mm-hmm.
So now how do you feel? You've reached it. There's no uncomfortable anymore.
Yeah, so I feel grateful, and I feel nervous that it's all going to get taken away.
There it is. Did you see what we just found?
Yes.
That's what I was looking for. Okay. This is the fear. It's not going to the gym enough. It's not doing all of this. The thing that's holding you back is this little tiny voice inside of you says, but what if it gets all taken away? Yeah. Okay. Do you want to follow that? Do you want to follow that fear?
We can try.
Okay.
We can try.
All right. What's coming up for
Yeah.
you right now? How are you feeling right now?
Super emotional. Super emotional.
Can we take actually just a moment to sit in that emotion? Would that be okay with you?
Sure.
I would love to hold space for that emotion, because I think,
Yeah.
what's it saying? What's your emotion trying to say right now?
That I am super scared
Yeah.
I'm scared that if I get to that person that I want to be, that it still won't be enough, or that it'll get taken away, or that that's not really what I want.
Those are 3 beautiful fears. Yeah, they're really honest.
I think I fear success because you see other people's success, and then you see it self-sabotaged, because then things come into play and it's not what you want at the end of the day. Like, it brings so many other problems.
Yeah. So this is beautiful. I mean, feel this emotion. You said you feel fear.
Uh-huh.
You feel scared, right?
Yes, scared. Yes.
Do you know where you feel that in your body right now? Are you familiar with your physical sensations?
It's in my chest.
Okay, great. So it's in your chest right now. Can we breathe into that real quick, just while
Yeah.
we're talking together? Okay. So it feels in your chest. What does it feel like? Is it constricting or expansive?
Super constricting.
Super constricting.
Yes.
Great word. Great
Yes.
clarifier.
Yeah.
Is there something like squeezing your chest? Is it your chest or anything inside of your chest? Is it squeezing your heart or your lungs or anything?
No, just inside of it.
Just a general
it's like
squeeze.
It's like this knot. There's a knot.
Yes.
There's a knot.
Okay,
in there.
great. You have a knot in your chest. Beautiful. That was what I wanted to get to you next. You jumped right there. That was really beautiful. So you have a knot in your chest. Yeah. So that feeling right there, that somatic feeling in your chest, it's telling us a lot, right? It's telling us that this is something that you fear and something that you're scared of. So now imagine why you can't reach the goals you want to go to, because you have this knot holding you back.
Right.
All right. Now I'm going to ask you a hard question and you can answer this or not. But this knot in your chest, is this the first time you've ever felt this?
No.
When is the first time you ever felt this knot?
That's a really good question. I I don't know. I don't know if I know that. I think I can come up with a couple of times, but I don't know that it was the first time.
Yeah. Let's start there. Yeah. What's the
Yeah.
earliest time of those memories?
Well, maybe I don't know if things were going well, but they were going pretty well, and they weren't enough. They weren't good enough. They weren't they weren't there wasn't that level of success in other people's minds, maybe, or judgment, or comparison, or it's like I'm always trying harder and harder, and there's never been the validation.
So that feeling of trying harder and harder, not feeling enough, not getting the validation of how hard you're working, how far back does that stem?
Oh,
Are we talking childhood?
probably yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Young adult.
Okay. Yeah. Young adult. Would you say like even younger than that at all? Or are we at about young adult?
No, I'd say young adult.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 So how old are you here? Are you like 19 or so?
Yeah, that's a good 20s, early
20s,
20s.
early 20s? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in this feeling, when you're in your early 20s and you have this knot in your chest and you're feeling sad because you don't feel like you're working hard enough to get the validation for other people to see that you're enough. In that moment, who are you telling this to?
Nobody.
Oh, why do you think that is?
I don't know why that is.
It sounds like you had to hold it all into yourself.
Possibly. Well, I didn't have the comfortability or the relationships with somebody that I felt like I could, or maybe I didn't even know what I was experiencing.
That's a really good point too, because you weren't familiar with what's going on. But now imagine like a 20 something year old. Do you know a 20 something year old in your mind you can picture?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Now imagine, is it a boy or a girl you're picturing?
A girl.
Okay. Imagine she doesn't feel enough. Imagine she is doing all of this work all over the place to try to prove that she's enough and no one is validating her. How does she feel?
Deflated.
Yes. That's such a good word. Deflated. Yeah. Now you had this however many decades ago, and it has been reinforced in your life over and over and over again. So it's no wonder why right now, when you're getting this taste of victory, when you are doing so well in your career and in your family and in your life, that something is coming in right now and telling you yet again, you're not enough. That's not your fault that that's happening, but it will be with you because it has just been instilled in your brain. It's just part of how our neurons fire and wire together. It's why if I were to, I know we're on like, video right now, but even then I could almost throw something at you. Like, does that make you flinch a little bit? Right. And why is that happening? Because you were taught as a baby that if something hits your face, it hurts. And if it hurts, you don't want that to happen. So what do? You flinch. You do that naturally. Do you choose to flinch? No.
No, it's automatic.
Yeah. We don't choose to flinch at all. The same way you're not choosing to feel the way you're feeling right now. Does that kind of make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
Great.
Yep. It's a learned reaction.
Yeah.
A learned survival, a learned process.
Yeah.
It's how I've learned to process that.
Exactly. So the idea that we can just kind of let it go or sometimes whatever this toxic positivity stuff that's out there, the spiritual bypassing that we're all taught to do, which is like, oh, just let it go. Stop self-sabotaging. Just go to the gym. Have discipline. Have willpower. Discipline and willpower don't exist. And anyone who says otherwise, just they have a different need that their discipline is meeting, which is probably control or power or something. And you don't necessarily have that. So what we want to do, if we want to go back all the way up to where you wanted to be, which was, how can you stop self-sabotaging? And that's where I wanted to get us to a place of almost maybe dropping that word or reframing it somehow. So I don't think you're self-sabotaging at all. I think you're self-protecting.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
What's coming up for you right now?
That a window just opened. That I see that female that's 20 years old that I was looking at that felt deflated, that she was surviving and she was protecting whatever she could as far as emotion and whatever she had to be that confident person. She was protecting every little bit of it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. And protection is great. That's a great trait to have, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when you look at the actions that now you're taking in your life, if we just start there by just kind of flipping our paradigm, right? By just like thinking, oh, this isn't me sabotaging myself. This is me protecting myself. What might be the first kind of tangible action we could take this week or this month to work towards where you do want to be in your life? Because I still want to encourage you to get there. I just want us to come at it from a compassionate place.
A more positive place. Yes.
Yeah. Instead of saying, how can I stop this sabotaging? Be like, how can I honor this protection?
And that's exactly it. It's honoring the protection by understanding and giving yourself credit for protecting
Yes.
your emotions.
Yeah. Let's say, for example, tomorrow you want to go to the gym and you had it in your mind. You're going to go to the gym at noon on your lunch break to go get your 30 minutes of strength training in. And then something comes up and you don't go to the gym. What are you going to do?
I am going to say it's okay. It's okay.
And really check in. Yeah. And check in with yourself. Like, what was it that prevented you from going to the gym? Like, really dig into it. We can make up something. Let's say, like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of anything. What has prevented you from going to the gym in the past? Do you remember?
Oh, I jam pack my day. I jam pack it way too much.
Okay, great. I'm gonna interrupt you real quick because this is great work. We're just gonna do like a quick free flow thing. You jam pack your day. Why do you jam pack your day?
Because I don't say no.
Oh. Okay, and why don't you say no?
Because I try to service all the clients, and then I don't put time in there for me. So I need to time block. So that would be an action step. Time block for me. Yeah.
Beautiful. But let's try this real quick in a different way because I hear you saying, but I slightly can hear the voice going back to a bit of the almost negative, which is I don't make time for me.
Okay.
Let's try working towards a solution. And that's why I kind of ask, why are you giving your time to your clients? Why are you in service right now? Why are you packing your schedule?
Loyalty?
Beautiful. Loyalty must be really important to you.
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
100%.
You're protecting your loyalty. Look at that. Right now in your life, loyalty just seems to be a higher priority than health. That's a beautiful thing. Are you okay to just allow that? Or would you like loyalty to take a little step back? Is it becoming too much loyalty?
It's becoming too much loyalty. And
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to do now, though, but imagine we could come at this. And instead of saying, I don't make enough time for myself, so I have to time block myself in, it's just very clinical. It's very, like our bodies are just much more flowery sometimes, right? They're much more like, but I just want to be loyal to my clients kind of thing, like I just want to have a good time. That's why we want to dig deep and we want to understand, why are we doing the things that we're doing? You are jam-packing your schedule because you can't say no. But it doesn't sound like that's coming from a place of fear. Some people might say, well, I can't say no because if I say no, then I'm not going to get enough clients and I won't be able to pay my rent. But that's not what you said. You said it's coming from a place of loyalty, which is beautiful. And so we honor that loyalty.
Yes. Commitment and loyalty.
Commitment and loyalty. Oh, stunning. Will you be able to have commitment and loyalty to your clients if you burn out?
No.
So now we have to start figuring out, where do we set boundaries? Where do we say no?
Yes.
Right? We don't even need to schedule time for you yet necessarily, but we need to work out, why is this loyalty the thing that is driving you right now?
100%.
And that will just kind of come with time. And it's almost impossible to answer now, to be honest. I'd like people to kind of go through a couple weeks of this, start observing, start identify, how do you feel when you have a packed schedule? This is actually, let me give you a taste of my life right now with the program starting soon. I am like, it is all hands on deck. I've been working 15-hour days trying to get this thing up and running. But because for the first time in my life, I'm living in alignment with my needs and my values, and I can communicate to the people around me what I need, I am the happiest I've ever been in my entire life. Because I've been able to say, hey, family, I really love you and I do want to spend time with you, but this is actually my priority right now. Are you okay with that? And that actually made me a better mom. Like, my son was able to be like, yeah, okay, I get it. Yeah, way to go, mom. You're rocking it. And now I know come January, when things slow down, I'll make sure I have more time for him. But that is the planning. That is the communication that comes with it.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Yes.
To give you like a tiny taste of victory, like where you could go, where you could be.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
100%.
And we get there by just starting to identify. That's why I want to leave you with a couple tools, right? Before we wrap up today, because I want to make sure that you have the tools moving forward to be able to kind of figure this out on your own.
Uh-huh.
So let me hear from you in your own words. What have you taken away from our conversation, and what are you going to do next?
I've taken away that I've been protecting myself, protecting my emotions, and protecting my confidence and my alignment, really. In order to get to that person where I want to go, I am going to be more gentle and dig in a little bit deeper and figure out where I can figure out why I am loyal and why its commitment is a priority, and actually kind of re-examine what the priorities are.
Love that.
And the cause and effect maybe of them.
Yeah. Do an audit. Just do an audit of all of the cause and effects of all the actions you're doing, and then check in with yourself and say, do I like this? No. Do I like this? Oh, yes, I do.
Yes.
Because like sometimes also as women, we're told we maybe shouldn't love our jobs that much. Like, maybe we should be spending more time with the family. And there's a bit of shame that comes with that. And it's like, no, right now I really like my job. And I would like the freedom and the acknowledgement and the love of my family to honor that. And are they on board? And maybe just them being on board is what makes you feel like a better mother.
100%.
I love that for you.
Agree. Yes.
Great. All right.
This has been great.
Good. I'm so, so glad. Is this a good spot for you to finish up just now?
Yes.
Okay. You feel good? Any
Yes.
questions before we finish up?
No, it's brought a lot of clarity to my thoughts, for sure.
Oh, well, thank you so much for coming on. Such a great question. I know so many women that struggle with this, just that balance, the understanding, the self-sabotage. And so I think this was going to be super, super helpful. So thank you so much for coming on and for being vulnerable.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right. You have a beautiful week. Take care.
Appreciate it. Yes.
Bye.
All right. Thanks, you.
Wow. I'm just so happy that Martie agreed to come on the podcast and share so vulnerably. I know that it went in a direction neither of us really expected. And I think that happens a lot. You might even hear that happen a lot in these podcasts. We start talking. We think it's going to be quite a simple question of just, hey, how do I stop self-sabotaging? And the next thing you know, we're in tears talking about our childhoods, right? That's what you get usually when you come and you talk to me, because I like to dig. And I like to dig deep, and I like to ask the hard questions. I like to keep asking why. Why does she want it all? Why does she feel like she can't get it? Why does she feel like she needs to be this good role model for her sons and also be a career woman and all, right? You hear it all, and that's fine. We can have it all. We can want it all. But as you heard us talk about, we want to do an audit. We want to really look inward and just keep asking ourselves why. And then we want to follow those questions, and we want to follow those fears. Because here's the thing. Self-sabotaging is not all bad. And that's what we got into, right? Is it self-sabotage or is it self-protection? When she's talking and she's listening to things and she's saying like, yes, that all sounds good, but I also have to do this. Yes, I want to be able to, do my audit, but I also need to go take a nap because I'm so tired from this flight. These are those competing needs that I talk about a lot. And so we just have to check in and say, well, which one feels more important to me right now and why? Because if you feel like, oh, I need to be auditing or I need to be going out and I need to be talking to people because you have a fear of missing out on something, we never want to have our actions come from a place of fear. We want them to be authentic. So then we look at the other direction and says, well, my body's really tired. I took a long flight. I'm very overwhelmed right now. Great. So lay down and take a nap. Those naps, those rests, those meditations are just as important as the other stuff. And if you find yourself resting too much, great. Ask yourself why and what else it is that you want to be doing. Because there's no right or wrong answer here. I hope you really hear that. When people come to me and they say, oh, is this action the right one to take? Or is this the right thing I should be saying to him? I say, it doesn't matter. It's about your intention behind it. It's about, have you been intentional in your choices? Or are you just blindly figuring out where it is that you want to go without any direction of what that actually means? And so you heard in my conversation with Martie when we talked about, well, what do you want? And I think she needs to go and figure that out. And that's a beautiful thing. And when she listens back to this podcast and maybe her and I have a couple more sessions together, then she's going to really start to identify and see, oh, okay, this loyalty is really important to me. But so is family. And that family feels different than loyalty. That feels like love. And I do want to be an amazing businesswoman, but at what expense of everything else? Or maybe a lot like me, and I was explaining this to her, I had to go into my family and say, hey, right now my business is actually making me really happy and it's really important to me. And this is everywhere I've wanted to be for so long, but I'm being held back by this guilt that's coming in because I think I'm not spending enough time with you guys. Can we talk about this? And when I sat my family down and I talked to them, both of them were like, yeah, girl, go do your thing. We're so proud of you. We love you. And then that just freed me up. And I loved it. And we had a plan. And we said, okay, for this beta program that I'm putting out in September, I'm going to be very focused on it. And then for this first semester at San Jose State, I'm going to be really focused on it. And then after all of this, after this fall, I'm going to spend a lot of time with my family. We're already planning a vacation. Do you see how you get to actually run your life? Do you see how it's not sabotage? It's none of this stuff. It's just about living in alignment in all 8 areas of your life, in all of the needs that you want. And that's how we feel fulfilled. That's how we feel satisfied. That's how we stop feeling like we're missing out on something. That's how we stop feeling like, oh, I should be doing this and I should be doing this. And instead, we just are. Or we want to be doing all the time. But we're not human doings. We're human beings. Sometimes we need to just be. I'll leave us at that as we wrap up. And I just want to remind you again, if you would like to be coached on the podcast, I would love to have you on. If you found any insight from Martie coming in here and vulnerably sharing her life with all of you, just remember you could do that for other people as well and get help in the process. So if you would like to be on the podcast, please go check out the link in the show notes or reach out to me on Facebook or email me, Jennifer@speak-honest.com. I would love to have you on here and I can't wait to see you. All right, everyone. That was our episode for today and I will talk to you next week. Take care. As we wrap up today's conversation, always remember that healing is a journey, not a destination. And it is an honor to be a part of your healing journey. If you want to dig deeper into the topics we covered today, be sure to head over to our show notes where you can find all of the valuable information mentioned in today's episode right there. And please remember to rate, review, and subscribe if you enjoyed today's podcast. Your feedback means the world to us and helps others discover our podcast. Until next time, remember to speak up and speak honest.